That give.
I just want to announce I played the wrong logo, so Elly will kill me later. This is Elly's intro.
Don't worry,
Thank you very much.
I've got his number. Good afternoon to you all. Welcome. Right, so today we've decided that we're going to be not the ladies' team, the men's team. Listen, Dermot's having a bit of a mare this morning, which I can forgive him for, because all men, they've surrounded.
Can I just confirm I am a bloke? I'm just looking. Yeah, I am a bloke.
Yeah, he's a man. I'm a woman. I don't have to look.
All the lumps in the right places.
Yeah, last time I checked, I was a woman.
Really?
Right, yeah, I did. I don't check every day, but every other day I check. Right, so basically, we're going to cover the girls, how they've been playing, where they are in the league, you know, who the star players are, who's not been performing so well, but we're not going to dig them out because, like, at the end of the day, it's just pretty much the start of the season. They haven't played that many games, and they had their tour in America where they went to Louisville, which was a bit of it wasn't a very good place to go, in my opinion, because they could have gone to somewhere where they know more about football, you know. And I was talking to somebody on YouTube about it, and they said, an American guy, I won't mention his name, but he said that they could have gone to a better state that follow football more. You know, so there's something the club can look at, not a criticism of the club. Obviously, they did what they could in that short time, but maybe for next one, then they go to America, they go to a better state where they get more fans following them and get more a higher profile. Like when the men's team went to South Korea with Sonny, that gave us a very high profile, isn't it, Dermot? Yeah, so what do you think of that, Dermot, just to get the male perspective on it?
I think Levy's a cheapskate, and he didn't want to raise his piggy money to send the great women's side. So he sent them to somewhere crap. Look, let's be fair. Yeah. You look at Chelsea, you look at Manchester United, look at the Arsenal. They will send them to proper pre-season camps or proper tournaments that they can get into it. We have to come up to that level. If we want to compete at that level, we have to send our women's side to the proper competitions, and we have to spend that bit more money on the women's side to enable them to start the season on the same level as the Manchester Uniteds, as the Chelseas. And I think it's really important. So I do agree with you, Elly, that, all joking aside, I do agree with you that the club now have to do more and actually take the women's side more seriously as well as the men's side, and do it side by side, so they get as much exposure, as much help as they can to compete at the higher level. Also, I think it's down to Sky as well to Sky do competitions for the men's side. If Sky again now want to get into the women's side, they now have to put their money where their mouth is with the men's side. Start pumping more money into the grassroots of women's game. So the young girls that are now coming into the game, or when they get up to 18 or 19, they're coming into a professional, well-organised league. And as Tottenham now have to look at the youths, have to look at the players of tomorrow as well. So, look, that's my thoughts on it, Elly. I agree with you on what you're saying, but I think Tottenham do have to do more, and the Sky and the Premier League have to do more to help on the women's side.
You know what? We've got a channel here. It's a platform to help the ladies as well, because I've been tweeted by the ladies already, right? The thing is, right, you've got a base, right? The base is the team is excellent. They finished 5th in their 3rd season. They finished 5th. That was their 2nd season. This is their 3rd season. They're currently in the 5th position, which is going on par with what they did last year. So if they want to push on, right, let them play at White Hart Lane and have the big crowds. Because when they do play at White Hart Lane, they do attract big crowds. Like when they played at Arsenal, there was 47,000 there, Dermot. Now that tells you something, doesn't it? 47,000 people went to watch Arsenal Spurs, right? They might argue that Brighton Spurs won't attract the same amount, Spurs Brighton at White Hart Lane might not attract the same amount, but it'll attract a damn right more than Brisbane Road will. I'm not putting Brisbane Road down, don't get me wrong. Everybody who's tuning in from Leyton Orient, there's no disrespect to your club, but if they played at White Hart Lane, those supporters that are interested in women's football already, they would go with their families, and it's a very nice day out because it's football. It's no different from the men's game. It's football at the end of the day. We love football, whether it's women playing it or men playing it, right? Now, the argument is, the women's game's not as good. But that ain't the argument. The argument is, will you go and enjoy yourself? Will you be entertained? Will you get the nice food to eat there? You know, it's an experience, right? When the England Euros played and there was so much euphoria, right, now Sky are covered, well, they did last year. They covered it last year. It's not just this year. They covered the WSL because it's the Barclays League. So Barclays are sponsoring it. Now we need the FA to put their money where their mouth is, and the Football League. Because remember, they play for the FA Cup and the League Cup, right? So, and then they go into the Champions League, and it's the top 3 teams, because there's only 12 teams. So the top 3 go into Champions League. I think top 2 qualify, if I'm right, I'm not 100% because I haven't researched it 100% yet, but the top 2 go, and then I think the 3rd team goes into, like what they do with the men's before. Now it's the top 4 go in. You don't have to qualify. But remember before they made the change, the 4th team had to qualify in a preliminary round. So they're doing that because there's only 12 teams, Dermot, you see. So they've got to make it fair. So it's a quarter of the teams go through to the Champions League, basically. So we want to push ourselves to that top 3 and then push ourselves to win the league. So if we're going to win the league, we've already put our seeds in by appointing Rianne Skinner, just like the men's team have put Antonio Conte. He's an elite coach. So is Rianne Skinner. She's very well thought of in the women's game. And she's a very strong disciplinarian as well. She wants the girls to be ultra focused, you know, and her way is like getting into their mental psyche as well, bigging them up so that they all play together as a team, you know, and they pull for one another. Because if you do that, you can overcome the better teams sometimes. Maybe sometimes they'll be technically better than you, but you can still get a result. We've seen that with lesser teams in the men's game already. But it's the same in the women's game. We went to Brighton and we battered them 8-0. Yeah, that tells you something, that Rianne Skinner got under their skin, got them focused, got them working after the match when they played. I tell you, Dermot, she got them training. They didn't come over and speak to the fans as normal because she said, she probably said to them, you don't deserve to go to the fans. You know, that's what I think she probably would have said, right? And then she had them training on the pitch, doing press-ups, warm-ups, running, yeah? Because she thought, right, they've lost 3-0 to Man City, and I was at the match for the full 90 minutes, and I saw everything. There's parts of the game I liked, but there was parts of the game where I think they were slacking. And I'm not calling out any particular player because I don't like to do that. But then when I saw them against Brighton, I saw the marked improvement. And I was very impressed with what Rhian Skinner and all her press conferences and the little videos that came out, which privately show her talking to the players. Sorry, you see, all these little things that you put in place gets under the girl's skin, and they start playing for the manager. Yeah. But what do you know about Rhian Skinner? What have you seen of her?
To be honest with you, I only know what you've told me, and I've now taken more interest. She seems like the women's version of CONTE, if I can be honest, of what I've seen of her. I think it's very refreshing. I think the men's game could take a leaf out of her book from the players that would perform. I'm not trying to go into the men's game, Elly, but CONTE could take a leaf out of her book by doing what she did with the women's side after they lost. Get them out there on the pitch, publicly shaming them. So making sure we do this again, this is what's going to happen. I think the men's side can learn a lesson or two from Skinner and the women's side, to be fair. Because I think that helped in their 8-0 win over Brighton. Elly, I have a few questions here for you. That while you've been talking, that have come to me.
Should we go into the chat first?
Yeah, of course you can. I'm most the chat. We can.
We'll go into the chat, and then you can ask me any question you want.
Big up, Mia. Hope you're all right.
Big up, Mia. I'll be phoning you later.
Yeah. All okay. That's all I'm going to say. All okay.
Everything's okay, Mia. Everything's okay. I'll explain.
We've got a new person in the chat this morning, Elly, for you. Hi, Queen Elly.
Tony K. Hi, Queen Elly. Hello, Tony K. Well done. Keep on following me.
Like this
and
one. I like this. Yeah, I like this one.
Tottenham till I die. I'm Tottenham till I die. I know I am. I'm sure I am. I'm Tottenham till I die. Good day to you both. Come on, you Spurs, missing the Prem already. Yeah, like you see the men's game, right? I'm not going to touch on it because this is a ladies' show, but the men's game, the women can learn a lot where men went wrong and put it right. Yeah, there's a lot that the men's game done wrong. There's a lot, right? So especially with the money coming in. Yeah, and buying your success and all that, and fair game. Yeah, so all these bigger teams that are in the women's teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, and you put Man United in that bracket, it's mirrored the men's game, Dermot, right? And Man City are fourth. Man City are fourth because they beat us, and we won 8-0, and we could have gone above them, but we didn't go above them on goal difference. So what we've got to say is that you can learn. Right, and take that into the women's game and don't make the same mistakes. This is a fresh palette now because it's not just now the women's game has been profiled, but it's got more of a high profile because England won the Euros, and it brought the game to a lot of people that didn't know about the women's game, and they started watching and they were very impressed. And look at the crowds they were getting, Dermot. 75,000. 95,000 at Wembley. You know, that wouldn't have been heard of, say, 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh,
they might have
come a long way.
It's come a long way in a short time.
I remember as a kid, BBC Two. BBC Two used to show the women's FA Cup final on a bank holiday Monday, and there'd be no more than about 2,000 people there. And you look at it now. You're thinking how far it's come from then to now, which is great. I mean, our national side has qualified for its first major tournament, which we'll
That's it.
touch
Well
on
done, you
later.
Irish ladies.
Yeah,
Well
come on,
done.
come on,
Good
you
on
girls
ya.
are great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
don't have
support all women in football. It's a certain country. If you're following a certain country, praise another country for making it as well, because they've had to overcome all the prejudices and all the discriminations and all the backlog that came with the women's game. And now men are looking at the game as well as women, because women can be critical as well. They want to be entertained just as much as a man. If they go to a match, they're going to look at it not through rose-coloured specs. They're looking at it to judge it just the same as a man's game. You know, I'll go to the ladies' game and I look at everything.
It's like that advert, that Heineken advert, when they sing the women singing "You Never Walk Alone." I love that advert. I think it's a brilliant advert, to be fair.
Yes.
I especially with a woman when she's got cut into her hair, 1882. You know, she's a Spurs woman, the Spurs lady.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's great. We've got David Clark here. Hi from Leicester. It's raining cars and dogs here.
Yeah.
I'm going to make him a bit jealous now. Hang on, just let me check. Yeah, we've got beautiful sunshine, blue skies,
raining all the time, man. You're lucky in Ireland. God is blessing you in Ireland, I think.
Well, where we live in the southeast it's Ireland's Riviera, really. I mean, we always
you live on the coast as well, which you're lucky.
Yeah.
I'm a coastal woman as well. Although I was born in Tottenham, my father had restaurants in Hastings. First of all, he worked there for family and friends, and then afterwards he settled there. And I used to go to Hastings and Rye all the time, and it's so beautiful. It's not the most prettiest of seaside towns, Hastings, but it's got character. That's what I say. I'll leave it at that. No more about Hastings.
Big up Drula. She says same here in
go on, Drula.
North London. Sorry, Drula. It's
that's my niece. For all those people who don't know, she's my niece. All right, Drula. I call her Andrula. I can't call her Drula.
Is she really your niece? I never knew that.
She's my niece. Yeah, she's my brother Louis' son. Daughter, sorry. What did I say son for? Yeah, I've got a nephew as well, who's a rapper. He's a fantastic rapper. Hanzo Reza. I'll give him a plug. Come on, Hanzo Reza. Yeah, and my niece. And I've got another niece as well. Yeah. We've got a big family. We're a Greek family, so we're very big, Dermot. We're probably bigger than the whole of Ireland put together.
So
that's how big our family is.
Yeah, I'm not even getting to that, but big up, Jurula. Thanks for popping in.
Big up, big up. She's always got a good comment. Right, yeah. David Clark says Skinner has pulled a masterstroke, putting Spence in the attacking line. Very true, David. It made a big difference because she was out on the wing and she was a bit lost against Man City because when she was out on the wing, she wasn't really getting the ball a lot. They weren't finding her. Right, and I was very frustrated. You could see she was getting frustrated and I was getting frustrated because I know what a talent she is. Right, she brings a lot of experience as well. Because obviously she's played at the top echelons of football with Chelsea in the ladies' game, so she's seen and won things. But she's like a wit. She's like say someone like Casemiro coming to Manchester United. If I had to compare it to the men's game, yeah. See, so you're getting experience. You're getting a fantastic player. She's not at the end of her career either, and she's got a lot to offer. So, yeah, I agree with that, David. Good point, mate. Good point. We got Mia. Glad, guys. Looking forward to speaking to you, Ellie. No food chat, though. Yeah, that's true. We chatted about Greek food for about 2 hours. Roughly. It might have been longer.
That doesn't surprise me. That's not surprising.
You know, when we talk about anything, we chat forever, don't we? We don't shut up.
Yeah, I've given up.
But I love Mia's company. It's lovely.
Yeah, to be fair, I've given up having to work out women. I gave that up years ago. I just go, I'm always getting it wrong, so I'll give up.
Well, in my family, Dermot, you know, I'm the only girl and I've got 7 brothers above me. They're all older. But they're only above me because they're older. They're not above me. I'll fight my corner. When I was younger, I didn't really fight my corner that much because, you know, you're inexperienced. But once you get them out, you can hold your own. There you go. That's one to my brothers.
You've got two younger brothers now, me and Dave Harris, so we're younger than you. So you've got two younger brothers.
That's true.
So.
Right. And I mean, you're 15 years older than David, aren't you? I think 14, 15 years older, something like that, aren't you?
I'm 40,
yeah, so you're my older brother.
Yeah. I'm 46.
You don't know how old you are. You've lost it.
Yeah, I'm 46.
You're 46 and David's 30 or 31. He might have turned 31, but I don't think he has. I'm not sure.
I'm just jealous of him being young. I was 30.
The thing is, he can learn so much off me and you as well. You know, we learn off him. He learns off us.
To be fair, Elly, I think he'll learn off and off you. Off me, he would learn. I don't think he would learn very much, but of you, he would learn great experience.
Don't put yourself down, come on.
You're like the Yoda of our little community. You're the wise one.
I try to know my stuff. If my opinion doesn't agree with somebody else's opinion, that's it. That's football. No, we're not all going to agree. As long as we attack the argument, not the person. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Stop attacking people, just because they've got an opinion. If
this was Star Wars, I'd be the Obi-Wan Kenobi. You be the Yoda, you be the smart one.
Yeah. No, don't say that, because it makes me feel like, listen, we're equal par, right? We're doing this channel for the ladies. We're doing this channel for the ladies because I used to be a Spurs lady. But not only that, I've got a genuine interest in the ladies team, and I've been reading up so much, because even me, who was a lady footballer, I can hold my hands up and say it's only last year and the year before that I really got interested. I was always interested, but what I mean is interested that I've done my research as well on the other teams and the other players in the teams. But since then, they've changed. So you've got to keep abreast, because players move around like the men's game. They get transfers and they go abroad as well. Then we transfer women from abroad. Some of the names I can't even pronounce, but I'll try my best. Being Greek, I can't argue, can I?
Here, Elly. She says, what do you think of Neville's comments on her career at Spurs? This is my club. I like to finish my career here.
I love it because she's so not underrated. Everybody respects her, but she's internationally, they've overlooked her. And the player in her position, right, she's good, but in my opinion, Ash Neville is the bee's knees. She's fantastic. She gives her all. She's like the woman version of Højbjerg, right? But she's different from Højbjerg. She plays as a fullback, but they've pushed her more forward now, because they see, Rianne Skinner and her coaching team, they've seen more of her than the previous coach, right? They're working with her, so they know that she can get forward and score goals. So it's not rocket science that she's a talented player, right? She's got the skill set to play that role, right? So she's really playing like a right wing back, but more forward, like Trent Alexander plays on the left, if I had to make a comparison. But she's better in defence as well. She's a solid defender as well, and she'll work her butt off to get back and put those blocks in. She'll put her body on the line. And I admire that lady. When she did her interview, you saw I not interviewed her, but the Sky were interviewing her, and I was like, when you're chipping at the bar, when you're chipping at the bite and you want to interview her, and I was thinking, come over here, I want to interview you, And she heard me shout, come on, Ash. And she went like that to me, because I was in the disabled section, because obviously I've got problems with my legs, right? So I went, come on, Ash, because I really love her as a player. She's brilliant.
I just say one thing about
the team.
You're on about your legs, right? I've got one thing to say about the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the men and the women, right? The women. Could you put more easiest access in for people that have struggled with walking, with their breathing, and also with their legs? because the steps you make us walk up to. Last time I was at Tottenham, I was in where Ben sits. It's somewhere up in the old East stand.
It's in the heavens, nearly in the heavens. It's just one rung back low below the heavens.
I was fucking halfway out of the. I mean, the thought of dying at White Hart Lane is quite nice, actually. The thought of dying at your football. I thought maybe you can put up that. This is where Dermot was.
Or was it that burger you had? Was it the burger that was weighing you down, Dermot?
I actually never did get to that burger, to be fair.
You walked faster to that burger than you did anywhere up those stairs.
As you know, Elly, right, the high street in Tottenham, right, walking up is like that, but walking back to White Hat Lane is like that. So I've got more momentum walking downstairs, right, walking downwards, right. And it's the excitement of seeing White Hart Lane. But I did get a whiff. I was going down, going, hello. I've got a sniff of something else. I was like a hound dog. I went, right, that's it. I know where I'm going. And I never did get my burger. I was so disappointed.
You was like a fly on poo.
When I come over in February, I would definitely get my burger in February.
Listen, I'll have one ready for you if you want. If you come to my house, I'll make the best burgers. I'll make them from scratch, and they're much better than McDonald's, I'm telling you. Yeah, look, but I don't even know whether I should be plugging the old, but they got a free advert there. See, Big Freak family, lol, no doubt somewhere along the line we are related, Elly. Very true. Well, we are. We're all Jewish, all the whole of the human race.
There you
go on.
That's what I say.
Greek and the Irish are the best in the world. Yes. And I'll tell you who I'll add to that. I'll add to that the Italians. I quite like the Italians because Antonio Conte is Italian and I like him. I like his blue eyes. They're beautiful.
Did the Italians have a good women's side, Elly? Are the Italians with women's football?
And they're
they a good side?
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're super fit. I've watched them about, say, 20, 30 times, in the last 2 or 3 years when I've got I'd say 3 years ago, I really got interested in it. You know what I mean? And it's probably, when you go on a crest of a wave, because I was always the men. And I put the women on, not the back burner, but, it wasn't as heightened as the men. But now I've got the passion for the women. And you see me at the matches. You see my reports. I send them in. I'm passionate. And I like certain players, like you do, you have favourites in the men's team. Of course, you can have the same for the women's team. And my favourite in the women's team, it's no secret now, it's Ash Neville, followed by Jessica Naz, followed by Drew Spence, right? They're the 3 players that are, and Shalina Sadorski, in defence. I mustn't forget her because I do like her a lot. She gives her all. It's very athletic, which you expect from maybe Canadian girls and American girls. Their physicality is very good. You look at the American side when they played England. Bloody hell.
Yeah. But
they're very strong
have been really successful. Yeah, but they've been really successful in the last 20 years.
They have.
Football.
They're outdoing the men's side by far.
Yeah. If you would say it was though I say this through gritted teeth, true, that the English invented football, but the Brazilians enhanced it. It was the Americans that started women's football, and the Americans the English now have enhanced it to another level. Well, would you agree with that? Or
not necessarily, because women footballers have been here as long as men. They have, but it wasn't. In those days, you're talking about the 1870s, 1860s, right? There were women football.
I mean, you look at
there was women playing football, but the heightened. Go on.
You look at the Americans women's side, say, for the last 20, 25, 30 years. They have been the most successful, dominant side, say, since in the world.
Them and Spain and Germany.
Yeah.
Germany have come to the forefront as well.
Though the women have played in England, in your country, in England, for a certain amount of time, do you feel you're always playing catch up? And now, do you feel especially with the England side winning the European Championships last year, do you feel now you're on a par with the Americans, the Germans, and the Spanish, or do you feel there always will be a step ahead of you? And how do you get your women's side ahead of them sides that really were the dominant forces in the early years of women's football?
Yeah. What it is there's a lot of permutations to that question. Right, so I'll break it down, right? So the women's game's come a long way in terms of England, right? They've won the Euros. They did very well in the World Cup, as you saw, but the Americans were just slightly, I wouldn't say they're far, far ahead of us, but their physicality, they take it serious, their diet, everything to do with becoming a professional footballer, right? So they look after their diet, they train, they do regular training. It's not like fit start, right? So now the WSL is called the Women's Super League. So obviously you've got the elite teams in the men's game mirroring in the women's game. You see in the men's game, Arsenal are top. In the women's game, Arsenal are top, right? Then you've got Chelsea and Man United that are quickly following, right? When you think about it logically, right? Logically, you would expect that, wouldn't you? Right? But in general, we haven't got that much more, in my opinion, to catch up with the Americans right this moment, because all the good feelers are being put in place, but where we're lacking is the grassroots. Right now, I don't know. I'm part of her game too now. I'm just about to get appointed. I'm waiting for an email to come through from a lady who interviewed me. Now, even if I'm not made, if I'm rejected and I'm not made her game too, I will still work stringently for any cause to do with women, because that's my passion, right? Now, right, so her game too, they want to get rid of all the discrimination that goes with the women's game, women in sport, not just women's football, women in sport in general, and just women in society. You know, we've got, like you said the other day, it starts from the mums, the dads, the grandmothers, right, before it even gets to grassroots. Educate your children to accept us all as equal.
Everything, Elly, from racism to sexism to starts how you're brought up as a child. If your father's going out saying, like I got bullied a lot for being Irish at school, and my mum and dad went through hell during the 70s and early 80s. My mum was refused. She went into a butcher's. This was after the late 70s, I think, when the IRA were doing what they were doing in England, the rights or wrongs of it. Yeah. And she got refused in the butcher's because of her accent. Now, for me, that is wrong, especially in a country like England, where there should be no. But there is countries around the world, Elly, where women are second-class citizens. And you look
it's
at Qatar,
happening all the time.
You look at Qatar, you look at South America, you look at some African countries, you look at some European countries where
you've got to look at home as well, Dermot. It's like we're 15% less. We're getting 15% less on average than a man doing the same job. So this is like a political thing that's come to the forefront, but it mirrors again in sport. Because like the women, right now, a guy who doesn't know about women's football, right, or a woman who doesn't know about women's football, they're ignorant to it. So they're going on hearsay. What they're not actually watching it. If they actually watch it and see how good it is, then they might have a different opinion. They might have the same opinion at the end of it, but you can change. You can turn heads. You can turn heads. Like they say, the woman is the neck, the man is the head. But it can be for the women as well. The women can be discriminative against you. Because I found that when I was playing for Spurs ladies, women would shout things to me as well, Dermot. Not just the fellas.
Yeah. Look, you there's always the saying, behind every great woman, there's a strong woman. Behind every great man, there's a strong woman, which I do agree. You look at any top sportsman or politician, the woman's really calling the shots, behind the scenes. With the women's game, how it is now, Elly, with loads of with Jill Scott, I think, in the jungle as well, and I'm a Celebrity, with the young girls now getting involved in the game. Now, do you feel that, from your perspective as a woman ex-player yourself, which I'm very honoured, me to have an ex-Spurs legend on your channel working with you is a joy in itself. I know you personally as a friend as well, so it's a joy every day working with you on this channel, and you being an ex-Spurs lady just caps it off, because for me it's like, wow. You were the trailblazer in your era to start it all off, Elly. Do you sit back at night, right, in your quietest times, and you think there, right, you're watching it with your daughters, and we know Angie and Sophie and Joanna all love them because of you, and they've all followed you sort of your way. Do you sit back and think, wow, I've done something with my life where I've made an impact on so many younger. If you're walking down the street, you see a young girl playing football. Do you think it's because of me she's doing that, or do you think, it's because of the later generation that's come after you? Do you take any satisfaction out of it yourself privately?
Yeah, there's a lot of permutations to that question as well.
Sorry, I don't mean the question.
Listen, it's a complex question, but obviously I feel pride that I played for Tottenham Hotspur. Right, we were called Spurs ladies because Tottenham Hotspur didn't recognise us, and it was a shame. It was a really big shame, but we fought tooth and nail. I was only young. I was 12 years old when they came to watch me. Right, and we trained at Somerset School, and the training was grueling. I've said this so many times, probably bored of hearing it, right? But what I did, I played the game because I loved the game, right? I loved Spurs as well. So it's like you when you said about Mickey Hazard was your hero, yeah? You see Spurs through him more than probably any other player. Right, because you identify with him. When I was playing, there was no real person to identify with. It was just yourself and your coach and your manager and other girls you played with. You admired them, and then when you played other teams in friendlies or real games, right, you admired them. Yeah, that was your only admiration. But now there's other teams like. The girls now, they look at the Italian team, they look at the Spanish team. There's so much more publicity for the ladies' game, and it's gone to a fantastic height, and it's going to go even higher. It will, because the game is becoming so professional, right? And I look at the girls now and I admire them. See, they haven't got no reference to me because they never knew me when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, up to when I was 23, 24. No. And I had so many injuries, and I played till I was 26, and then I did my coaching badge. I passed my first coaching badge, then I didn't do my second one. I don't know why I didn't do it, but do you know what I was thinking, Dermot, the other day? I was sitting down there with Ange, and I was thinking, I love doing streams, but I want to be like in the thick of the action, affecting it, right? So her game too, that's one part of it, right? Because that's a very important part as well, because that's about treating women as equals, and recognising women that we play football as well, and it's her game too. Yeah, whatever sport you're doing, it doesn't mean her game too is just related to football. It's everything. Yeah. So then when I look at myself compared to the women now, they've got so much more. Their diet, their exercise, their training, the way they look after themselves, they're getting publicity, they're on adverts, they're in I'm a Celebrity, get me out of here. Do you know what? It doesn't make me feel jealous. It makes me feel proud that I was part of that movement. yeah, to get that girls. We didn't get the notoriety. And then 1985, Broxbourne Ladies were formed, and then they became Tottenham Hotspur Ladies. It was a natural progression. It just swapped over, and all the players from that went into Tottenham Hotspur Ladies, and they were formed. And then the club recognised them. I just wish, you know what? I'm not jealous, but I just wish I was that age, 2021, to strike.
You wish. Is it right to say you wish it were your time? You
I wish I
set the
weren't 60,
trailblazer.
I was 20. Because obviously I've got all the injuries on my leg and that, and I still enjoy playing. Don't get me wrong, but I can't really play like when I was. I'm skillful. I still got all the skills. Keep the uppies, head, trap it at the back of your net, flick it back. I can do all that, but you know, it's just I admire the way that women's game's going now, and her game is a big contributor to that. It's a very, very big contributor. Not just football, all sports, or across the board. Yeah, I must put that in as well.
Yeah, I think for society as well, and the way But Elly, look, I've got a few questions for you.
Yeah, go on then, fire away.
They're not questions. The more the Spurs women's, how international the women's side is at the moment. So we've had some of these games have been played. There's one more to be played tonight, I think, Elly. So look, we've got Jessica Naz, Asmita Ali for the England under 21 friendly against Holland on. It's
brilliant, and they deserve it. Yeah, both those players deserve it. Jessica Naz, it's about time.
Yeah.
You know, they've recognised her, you know, properly.
And then, of course, on the 11th, we had Becky Spencer, Drew Spence, Jamaica's friendly against Paraguay. And then, of course, we've got the glamour girl, Shalina Zazowski for Canada against Brazil.
She is really a glamour girl. We've got a few glamour girls in the team, but I'll leave that to whoever, you know, it's a male or female thing. Obviously, you can't be sexist and say it's just the men that fancy them, because there's women that fancy them as well. You know what I mean? I'm not laughing because that's funny. I'm just laughing because, you know, when you say you can't pigeonhole things, you know, you can't say, oh, just the men are going to fancy her. But Shalina Sadowski, very pretty lady, and Canadian as well, which is brilliant. I love other nationalities playing for us.
The boxes for me.
Celine Bissett, she scored. She shot the shot that went in, and it got deflected. So yeah, she's a fantastic player. She's really speedy. She's skillful. She's got a lot of other skill sets that some of the other players haven't got. You know, so I'm really proud of her as well. I've been married for 12 years, so we'll take anything. I like his other comment as well. Elly, do you find it hard when you hear women tearing each other down instead of supporting each other? That's a very good question, Carl. Because he jokes, but that's a very serious one.
Before we go on to the serious question, I just want to say, every time you put something in the chat, I just crease up, right? That's why I put my head down, because it's so funny.
He's just as funny as Harry Redknapp, isn't he?
I know. I think if you put him and Harry in a room, I think Carl will win. But he does.
I tell you what, we've had some charismatic managers. Look, Terry Venables as well. Yeah. There you go. But then Rhiannon Skinner. Yeah, I was just going to say, Rhiannon Skinner, she's a very talented mentalist as well as a coach. She gets into the player's psyche, the way she G's them up, and she's a very good motivator, which you need. You can't just mollycoddle the players and tell them they're good when they had the stinker. No, put your arm around them. There's a way to do it. You know, but the way she does it is very, very good. I've been watching her a lot. last season and this season when she was appointed. I wanted to see how she's going to progress our team. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I reckon by next year, she'll probably challenge for the league title. I'll put my hat on it that she'll probably challenge.
So.
Maybe this year's a little bit early. We need a little bit of strengthening here and there. But she knows, she's identified it because she watches the team. Obviously, she's the coach. Yeah.
She watches. Then on the 13th, Elly, Becky's due against. Oh, we've done that one. It was the 14th. Jessica Naz and England friendly against Italy in Rome, and then Morocco behind the closed door friendly against Ireland in Marbella at 7 p.m. Don't know how that result went. I'm sure Ireland won because we're the best team in the world, the Irish team. So we probably spanked them about 30. So come on, you girls in green. Should be interested if Ireland get England in the same group.
You're not biased towards Ireland, are you?
No, not at all. I'm very.
I reckon if Ireland played England in Tiddlywinks, obviously you're going to want Ireland to win. That's just the natural thing. You want your country to win, don't you? There's nothing wrong with that.
To be fair, Elly, if I was say Minister for Foreign Affairs over in this country, the relations between Ireland and England would probably be at an all-time low because I would probably just tell them what I think.
The main thing is, right? The main thing is that you love your country, right? You want to support them in everything they do. That's it. Cyprus had a ladies' football team. They do have one now, right? I wish I was 21 and I would play for them and England, but I'll do it on the secret. I just go over to Cyprus, play for them in a friendly, and come back to England.
I could just imagine when it falls wig.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Change your name completely by default and then come back.
I'll just say I'm Elly Loizu because that was my maiden name instead of Elly Kakaratos.
But I can't even pronounce your surname. So that's a matter.
My first name is Alea, really. Aglaia in Greek. Aglaia Kakuratos. But everybody calls me Elly because that's the nearest translation you can get. And also, my brothers called me Elly. They said, you're not going to school with a name like that. Right? Which is a bit of a racist thing to say, because why can't I go to school with my name? What, are you ashamed of my name or something? You know what I mean?
We will be
I could have gone to the school with my proper Greek name. They would have bloody had trouble.
We will be doing a ladies' Spurs show from an Irish pub next week when Elly is over.
Yeah.
We're doing two shows from an Irish pub. So we're doing Elly's show and we will be doing the show with me, Elly and Philip Brady, all in the same place, all on the same stream.
Ladies. I could sneak in. I'd have to have a bit of Botox and a bit of a facelift to look like 21. I had to have a lot of work. And then my legs, what are my legs going to say? My legs don't look 21. And then when I start kicking the football, I can show them a bit of skill. But running wise, nah, I'm not doing that. I'd run about 10 yards and be out of breath.
I want to say a big up to our co-host Philip Brady, who's not well at the moment.
Oh,
but he is right in what he says.
He's still got COVID, isn't he? Oh, poor man.
He is right what he says. Dermot loves everything Irish.
They're not worthy.
Except Steve Kenny.
I've got to put the glove on for that one. I've got to put the glove on one. You see, this is the hand I injured, and I had it in a sling, but the sling was a bit short, and I was having my hand up here, and I was getting neck ache from it. So I took it out, but it's recovering now. The soft tissue is recovering, thank God, after my nasty fall at the Spurs ground.
Philip says Dermot loves everything Irish except Stephen Kenny. Exactly. Stephen Kenny is a total wally. Should never be.
He's your manager, isn't he?
And he couldn't organise. He couldn't pay himself out for
paper.
No.
Normally it's a pick up in a bureau.
Ollie's going to be chasing Doherty across the across the halfway line, see what it's
Is
like
he
to
that
go.
bad?
Who's Stephen
Is he
Kenny
that
or
bad?
Darwin? Which one?
Both of them.
Yeah, they're both awful. We can't afford a decent manager. We can't afford a decent manager because Delaney took all the money for them, so we have to get Stephen Kenny. But big up Philip, and we're seeing him back tonight for our big show tonight, where Philip Brady will be unleashed onto the YouTube world, where Philip speaks his mind about the Qatari World Cup.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see Philip on the drum.
That could go either two ways, Ellie.
Oh,
it could either be taken off air in 5 minutes, or it will last an hour and a half, which we're hoping. So Philip,
you know what? We're going to have David the Irish Hotspur there. I don't know if he's bringing anyone, if he's bringing his missus or it's just him. I haven't asked him yet.
I don't know. I'm speaking to him later today, so I've got to speak to him about Saturday anyway.
Yeah.
David Clark says, I've got an artificial knee due to a football injury. He's also been married 45 years. You can get that for murder. Wow. 45 years.
All these married men are coming out. They're coming out with all the quips, aren't they? I hope my husband don't say that about me, because I've been married 42 years to my husband, who's a QPR fan. See, I lasted it.
Me, saying big up to the Cyprus ladies. Big up Cyprus ladies.
Big up Cyprus ladies.
And then
that's my mum and dad's country.
That is what football socks are for. Whatever it means by that, I don't know.
Football
and hi, Elly from Tom.
Explain that one, Cole. Please explain it.
From Tom Thfc. Hi, Elly and Dermot. Big up, Tom. Elly,
look,
I've got a question here for you that came to me during the while you were talking about things, came into my head, and it's really to do with tonight's show, but I wanted to spin it on its head to do it about the women's game. And
good idea.
We all know about the corruption in football. Hang on, let me get that back up. We all know about the corruption in football on the men's side for the World Cup and everything. We'll be going to depth of that tonight. And also, you will be getting me and Elly
on it, haven't they? They've done a documentary on it, which is going to come out after the World Cup, I presume.
Yeah. On the women's side, what does FIFA and UEFA have to do to help the women game around the world, especially FIFA? If you think UEFA have to do around Europe, but what does FIFA have to do? And do you think you get enough? Should there be like a woman FIFA president? Do you think it's about time there is a FIFA president and a UEFA president as well as a woman? Do you think it's about time that this snuffy men's close-knit club has to end? Do you think it's about time women start putting themselves up for jobs in football?
It's like anything. If the woman is got the credentials to do that job and a man's going for it and they give it to the fella, even though the woman has got the same credentials and she comes across better in the interview, because sometimes it's the interview that gets you the job. Because I could go into an interview, 6 A levels, 10 O levels, a degree in sports science, and I'm going for a sports science job. And I go and I kill the interview, right? And then the bloke goes and he doesn't kill the interview and they give it to the bloke because he's a bloke. You see, we've got to get away from this. It's prejudice at the end of the day, and it happens. We all know it happens, right? We're not getting too political, but it has to be said. It does happen. So when you look across the board, it's not just the presidents. You go down to the referees, linesmen. Well, you say linesperson. I don't know what the political way, linesman, lineswoman, what is the right way to say it.
A funny story, Elly. This is true as God. I worked in the buildings all my life. Yeah, I worked in the buildings all my life, right? And everything is called a manhole. When it's where the drainage goes into for in the house, it's called a manhole.
Yeah.
So we had this woman and man come out. They were checking the work we'd done to sign it off, sort of thing, so we can get paid for it. And I remember this woman saying to my dad, and I was only about 12, 13 at the time. She says, this is called a person's hole.
Yeah.
The man instead of a manhole. And it really got me thinking from that early age, how second rate, it opened my eyes really at that age, how second rate women were being treated then. But if you look at FIFA and UEFA, it's full of men. It's full of stuffy nosed men that give each other bribes and whatever. You look at, we've had women presidents, you've had women prime ministers, we've had women presidents here in Ireland.
Yeah.
You've had 3 women prime ministers in England.
Yeah. And it doesn't mirror itself in the football, does it?
No,
or
but
other
the point
sports.
I'm trying to make is if women can make it in a tough world like politics, right?
Yeah.
How come they can't make it in the top, like with UEFA and FIFA? Are they still stuck in the 1950s? And do they
You
have to be
answered your question at the beginning. It's full of stuffy old men who think that they're not going to give the power. They're not going to give the power to any woman. They're not. They're going to hold on to it because they're selfish. It's a selfish thing. Like, if a woman's just as good as you at a job, she should get the job. If she's just as good as you and she blows away the interview, right? And also, who's interviewing her? If it's a man only, right, and he's got his eyes on, I want a bloke for this job, regardless of how fantastic the woman is. Yeah, if you take that to politics, right, Margaret Thatcher would never have got the job. Theresa May would never have got the job. Benedictine Buta would never have got the job. What's her name? The German lady. Yeah, what's her bloody name? I can't think of her name now. Anyway, the German Prime Minister or President, whatever. Yeah, it's Prime Minister, isn't it? Yeah?
No, Chancellor.
Right?
Chancellor in Germany.
Chancellor, they call it in Germany. Right? And then in America, you've never had a woman go anywhere near it apart from Hillary Clinton, who ran against Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, they've got their first ever female vice president in Camilla Harris at the moment.
Yeah,
but the point
steadily. Yeah. I want a woman to get it on merit, not because she's a woman. But if it's men making those decisions, then you don't know if she's going to get it on merit. Like, is she getting it just because she's a woman and you need a woman in that position?
Well, will you see it in your lifetime? You see it in your lifetime, a woman FIFA president or a woman UEFA president?
In my lifetime, perhaps. I hope in my heart that there's a woman out there that's got all the credentials and goes up against a fella, blows the interview, she's the best person for the job, and she gets it on merit, not because she's a woman, and the bloke doesn't get it just because he's a fella. Yeah? Because it happens across the board. It's not just a woman. What if you say, right, on colour, on race? Yeah, there's all these other factors that come into it that people might have a bias towards. If you look at FIFA, how they're run, they put Michel Platini, and then they had Sepp Blatter, and they had the documentary came out, and all these things came out of the woodwork, didn't they? Yeah, I won't go into them too heavily, but you can't have that happening. If a woman was in charge, I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, because a woman could get bribed just as much as a man can get bribed. But I would hope that wouldn't happen. So, you know, when you say be careful what you wish for, you know, sometimes you say that, be careful. Right, I would wish, if it was a perfect world, that everybody gets their job on their merits, not on their colour, their sex, their religion. This, you know, that would be the fair society, wouldn't it? At the end of the day,
Yeah. Look,
you're
I've
getting
just
it
found.
on merit because you're the
I've
best person.
I've just found something online, Ellie, and while you were talking, got me thinking. How
Yeah.
much does FIFA or UEFA put into the women's game, especially the grassroots for the young girls that want to become professional? And I found this: the 2019 Women's World Cup prize money is $30 million, which is 7.5% of the men's World Cup prize.
Yeah.
Even for 2022, we're going into 2023 soon. Elly.
Yeah.
World Cup next year in Australia. What does do the women's Premier League? Do the Premier League now have to set an example for world football now? If you wait for them, FIFA are not going to do it. Does the
not just the Premier League, all the other leagues in the other countries as well? Because you've got to come at it through strength, right? So you've got the Spanish league, the Italian league, the German league, the Turkish league, the Greek league, the Swiss league, all the leagues. There's too many to mention. They've all got to come at it at one angle, right? And put pressure on the powers that be it stuffy men. We that's what they are, right? To pump money into the grassroots. So the Football League have got a responsibility, and they had a program the other day about it. And they had they went to lots of different schools with girls playing football, and they've got mixed teams, right? In my day, I was the only girl playing football at my school, like properly. There was other girls who used to have a little kick about, but like properly with the boys. And I got put in the boys' team. That was the start, innit, Dermot? I get put in the boys' team, and I'm thinking, I come from a Greek Cypriot background where women are submissive. My mum brought me up to be submissive to a man. She did. But it's not, because that's all she knew. She was blinkered. That's all she knew. So I educated her. When I was about 15, 16, I remember saying to my mum, because she didn't like me playing football, right? Never liked me playing football. But she wasn't a bad mother. She just didn't like me. Because she's from Cyprus. They didn't know anything about football. She just wanted me to be a girl, get married, have children. That was her blinkered way. It doesn't make her a bad person. That's all she knew, right? Then to get to the point, right? The girls now, they've got so many freedoms, right? They've got so many freedoms in society, but there's still barriers. There's still barriers that need to be broken. And that's where her game came into it. You see the things they put up, the things that have been shouted at. They were shouted at me as well back in the day. They're still putting them up today. Get in the kitchen. Why is a girl playing football? I got an experience as a supporter, as I told you. The man, I was filming the game, and he goes, why is a girl filming it? And then I put my laptop, my iPad down, and he kicked my iPad on purpose. And he cracked it. He's got a big crack at the bottom of it. You see, this is the things that women face, right? And that was just him saying that I haven't got the right as a woman to film the match because I'm a woman. Yeah, and he's seen me in there before because I've seen that same guy. I've seen him in there because you get familiar with the people that are around you, right? Obviously not all the same people go to the same match, but you get familiar. And I've seen that bloke before. And he's seen me filming when I've been lower down, but he was too far back. This time I went in the middle because when I'm at the front, there's so many nutters there, you can't hear yourself think. Like if I'm shouting for Hoiby, I want people to hear me. You know what I mean, Dermot, don't you? Right, so I was with
Elly.
I've seen that bloke before, and he kicked. Then I went outside. This is not all about me, it's about the girls. But I just want to make a point. I went outside, and another younger bloke, this bloke's in his 40s, maybe early 50s, that other guy. Another younger bloke said, I was watching Aston Villa play, and I was filming for us, for THFC Till I Die, right? The halftime report. And he goes, what are you filming for? And I said, excuse me? So I had to switch off that and then delete that one. And I shouldn't have deleted it. I should have bloody kept it. Because I was thinking, I was thinking, oh my God, you know, he's just, and then he goes, then afterwards when I switched the camera off, he goes, oh, you're just a girl. What do you know about football? You see, those cards her game are putting up, you're just a girl. What do you know about football? Yeah. So I said to him, I know a damn more than you. Right. I just put him in his place. I said, I used to play for Spurs ladies. And then he goes, did you? Like I was making it up. Right. And then I tried to educate him, to get him on my side, to educate the boy, because he hasn't been told anything when he was younger. He's probably been told all a load of shit, hasn't he, about girls playing football. That's why you said about mums and dads and granddads and grandparents educating the boy to not have that point of view. And he's only in his 20s, the boy, and he's saying that.
Yeah, no, look,
See what I mean? And girls get it all the time.
I do agree with you, Elly. I really do. Elly, I just want to bring up the Women's Super League to get your thoughts on it. And
oh my God, yeah, of course.
It's going to be done like this. I'm sorry I haven't got it done onto.
Shame Arsenal on top, isn't it, guys and girls?
It is. Look, Elly,
girls and guys. Shame.
Give us a sort of description.
Right.
Tottenham, Villa, Everton. Where do you think?
Okay.
I'm sure we're going on to the breakdown for the World Cup. So just give us a bit about the league. Who are the teams to watch for people that want to follow the Super League now? Apart from, of course, we're all going to say follow Tottenham, but who are the other teams in the league, Elly, that people should watch out?
I would say the teams to look out for are obviously the top three. That goes without saying, because they've been at the top all the time. But the other team to look out for, and they have been successful, is Man City, because obviously they've got that money and they're injecting it into their team. And when we played them and they beat us 3-0, they were far better than us on the day. But I know Spurs ladies could have played a lot better than they showed that game, right? And the other teams, I would say Aston Villa, West Ham are pretty good, and Everton, but the rest are quite far behind in terms of their styles of play and their physicality and their fitness, right? Because to compete at the very top, if you watch Arsenal and Chelsea and Man United play, they're ultra fit, those girls. They're like at the pinnacle. They're fit. Like they can last 90 minutes now. And they can probably play another 90 minutes after that, straight after, I would say. They're super fit girls. They look after their diet. They train. They take, it's a serious thing now. And there's money to be won for the girls. And they should win it. Because at the end of the day, they're not winning as much as the men, but they're playing 90 minutes. They're doing exactly what a man does. They're training 3 or 4 times a week. They're doing exactly what the men's team do. And they're taking it seriously. But the Aston Villa, very good team. I like the way they play. They're very like, they're a bit like, they're like Man City, but I think they've got a little bit more flair overall. Yeah. But Spurs are the ones that I like, because obviously that's my team, right? But the teams to look out for are obviously the top 3. They play. I would say if you were putting it in a league of elites, you would put Tottenham in the top 6, 100%, right? Always put. But I think the one that would surprise you would be West Ham, in my opinion, because I like the way they play. I think they've got the ability to go top 6. They have. Out of all the teams I've mentioned, I actually like the way they play. Yeah.
No, well, there you go. Listen, Elly, another great show as always. I love doing these shows with you. They're so smart. Brilliant. They're so great. I love talking about the women's game. Let me just take that image off.
What we'll have to do when you come over to England, we'll go to a match together, Dermot. That'll be good. And especially if it's at White Hart Lane. Do you know what? Leighton Orient's ground is lovely, right? But White Hart Lane, if they played their games at White Hart Lane, they'll get more revenue into the side that they can invest into the team, you know? Because at the end of the day, money does talk. You've seen
It's
that
all
in the
about
men's game. Money
it's all about
talks.
money, Elly. It's all about money
Yeah,
at the end of the day. Elly, on Saturday we are going to do a Spurs ladies review during the
yeah,
charity stream. So we're doing a whole review of the
of
Spurs lady
course.
first half of the season. But Elly, we do have this 12-hour stream coming
Oh,
up
yeah,
on Saturday.
yeah.
We've raised so far, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked by this. Let me just get it. I still can't believe it.
Yeah,
We've raised €85. We're looking to raise 1,000. It's for the charity asiam.ie. You can find
yeah.
that. I will be putting the link onto the GoFundMe. I will also be putting the link onto the YouTube channel as well, so you can click on it and have a look at the charity and what they do and what they
Yeah,
do
you
for
can go
people.
on the internet and research them like I did this morning as well. I had a look at them because I wanted to see what they're all about. What a fantastic charity. Brilliant. They do everything for the
I've known
families as
about
well. Brilliant.
yeah, I've known about them for a while, so that's why I choose. Sorry, that's why I choose them. I thought
Good job.
sorry about that.
You got me silly.
That's why. Yeah, yeah. Go. Right, sorry. I've totally lost the plot. Right, that's why we choose them as a charity, because they do brilliant work. Elly, look, a brilliant women's show again. We're back again next Tuesday at 12 o'clock, Elly.
Yeah, and just to say, yeah, we're back next Tuesday. I'd prefer Monday, to tell you the truth, because Mondays
Monday.
it's straight after the game, and I get time to prepare it, because when I go to the match, I'm going to have all the vlogs, and everybody will see the vlogs, because we can put the vlogs up on the show. My pre-match, my post-match, and my half-time report.
Yeah.
And hopefully now, if I get this her game position as ambassador to the ladies team, I'm going to get quite a few privileges. So hopefully it'll bode well for my channel, but it'll bode well more for them, because my aim is to give them a platform, and I'd love to have one of the girls come on this show as well. So that's a shout out to any Spurs lady who's watching this, in the current squad, in the youth squad, wherever you are, under 15s, under 8s, wherever you are, you can come on, have a chat with me, and it'll be a privilege to speak to you. Dermot's poll just fell down. That is true.
My poll has not fell down.
He's not the best of poll dancers, just put it that way. Also, what I want to add, we're playing Chelsea this week away, right? We're playing Chelsea away. That's going to be a very tough match, and it'll put us, like when the men's team play Liverpool and we lost, right? I want us to go to Chelsea and get a result, because that'll give you an indication on how far our girls' team have come under Rhian Skinner, because you're playing a top 3 side, and they've been a top side because they won the league championship last year. You see, so they picked Arsenal to it in the last game of the season. So it's a very good way of putting that level. But it doesn't mean if we beat them that we're going to go on. We've got to push on. You can't just sit back on your laurels just because you've got Chelsea. You've got to beat the Brightons and the Leicesters, the ones who are below you, plus beat the teams that are above you, because then you get 3 points. It's like a 6-pointer, isn't it?
It is.
So you've got to push on. And Rhian Skinner is the best lady to have in charge for that. My hand on my heart, fantastic coach, fantastic mentalist. Look out for her, everybody. Read up about her, because I'm going to do a profile on her as well very soon, because I'm collating all the information, and I'm going to get permission from the club as well to try and get an interview with her. So that'll be something in the future. So I'm working on that. That's a work in progress.
All I'm going to say is, Elly, it's an honour to do these shows with you in the women's side. I'm really pleased that we can do it on our channel, to do something different than what other channels are doing. This is something different. This is unique, and this is a path that me and Elly have talked about for a long while to get this off the show off the ground. So look, it is going to get more and better. It will become it is a permanent fixture on this channel. We're going to make the shows more longer. We're going to make them more structured. We're going to make them more better for we'll end up being a 2-hour show once we get going, and once we get to know more. I get to know about the women's side from what Elly's teaching me. But Elly's been an honor as always. Thank you so much for having me on these shows. It's an absolute honor. Elly, as we normally end the show, we normally get you to sing something, but I've just got to see this place. I haven't played this for a while, right?
Are you going to do the Elly Hoybier bit?
Yeah,
I'll do one at the match with Ash Neville's, singing Ash Neville's song, so we can put that one on there.
But I tell you one thing, the fella in front of you never stops making me laugh. So here he is. This is Elly at White Hart Lane. I've got to find who this bloke is, because I've got to get him on the show. We've got to get him on the show, Ed.
When I go into Area 252, if I see him again, I'll collar him.
This is Elly and the mystery man, whoever you are, you do have to make me smile with your reaction.
Do you hear that at the end? Like, instead of saying Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, they go, "Come on, you Spurs," really muted.
It's like that fella in the front was going, he was like acknowledging your efforts, and you go,
Yeah, he is. Because I was talking to him before. I actually spoke to that guy earlier, but not about 5 minutes into the game. I talk to everybody, you know, I'm a chatterbox. But right, so I'm bigging up Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
I never knew that. Are you really, Elly? Never knew that.
I always big up Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, but there's a lot of fans I don't realise how much he's loved. He really is loved in that section of the Spurs ground, especially. But I've been into other sections of the Spurs ground, and they like him, but you hear little jibes here and there. Oh, good. What are you doing?
Elly, I'm going to try to get into that. I think we're going to the South Stand, so I'll try. If you're in that part of the South Stand, I'll come down.
Area 252, that's my area. I'll go in there, but after the match, I'm knackered because I'll give it my all. That's why we've had such a good home record. I don't know what went wrong with Newcastle and Liverpool. We didn't claw it back. Not for my lack of effort.
Yeah, that's so true. Elly, we're back tonight at 8:00 with the World Cup debate. Why is the World? Should Qatar have the World Cup? The rights and wrongs of it. Philip Brady is going to have his say. I know we're going to have to tame him. We know we're going to
probably we'll probably get it taken down, won't we?
Well, not if we contain the stallion that is Philip Brady, just to keep him a bit tamed.
I've got to watch what I say.
Yeah, so do I. Look, it's going to be a great show. People come back 8:00. We'll be on. We're only on for an hour and a half, from 8 to 9:30, before Dave Harris goes on. And then we won't be on.
Are we going to do World Cup? Are we going to ask people to do their best World Cup 11 from every single country?
Well, that's what we're going to do. Get that in for the charity stream.
Yeah,
we're going to do.
That'd be so good.
We are going to do a World Cup
11 and best World Cup 11.
We are going to do a World Cup build up in the charity stream as well, for the World Cup as well.
Yeah,
and we're going to get our thoughts. But tonight, it's all about fallout from the FIFA documentary, the corruption. Why did Qatar get it? Why should they get it? Should have the United States got it, and Australia? And about the way where FIFA is moving in world football, especially in the women and the men's side as well. So come back tonight at 8 for that. Myself, Elly, and Philip Brady. We're not on tomorrow or Thursday. We're having a few days off because of the big stream on Saturday. We're back on Friday with Newsbeat at 12, and then the fan show with Elly and Philip on Friday
Yeah.
evening, and then Saturday at 12 o'clock to 12 midnight, me and Elly and Guess and Philip and Guess will be doing a 12-hour stream for charity. So come on, let's get in there. Elly, thank you so much again. Really enjoyed this show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope everyone did enjoyed it too.
I hope
Elly,
that people have learned something as well from us, not just me, from Dermot as well, that they've learned something, that the women's game should be taken even more seriously. Just because England won the Euros, that doesn't mean that it should have been taken more serious, because it should be taken serious regardless. Because women, they're out there training today in this cold weather. All right, Spain, maybe they ain't. They're training in the sun, right? Because I checked the weather over there. They've got the lovely weather all year round. But still, you still got to do your training. Hot, cold, medium. You're still doing your training at the end of the day, and you're taking football seriously, so that the game, the people that run the game, take it more seriously and elevate the women's game to an even better level than it is now. And then after that, even a better level. And then get to that level where we want to get to. You know, there's no real top of the level, is there? It's unlimited. You know, it can fly. Yeah. Come on, the women.
Hang on.
And come on, Ash Neville. Ash Neville, if you're listening, I love her. She's a brilliant player. I'm going to do an Ash Neville song at the match. When I go to the next match, I'll do a celebratory Ash Neville song. Dermot, you got to go find your tiddlywinks again. That's it. Right. When I go to the next Spurs match at home at Brisbane Road, and then when they play Arsenal, they're going to play it at White Hart Lane. There's certain matches they're going to play at White Hart Lane.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. That's fine. Sorry, just my postcom. Just going through my bills that I have to pay. Sorry about that.
What I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. Right, what I was saying. When they play the game at White Hart Lane, I prefer, obviously, because you're going to get a bigger crowd there, you know, and it's more atmosphere. But it doesn't mean the Brisbane Road Grand is not good, because it is good. But when you've got a massive crowd, like say they get 40, 50,000, people at Spurs are going to think, oh, money. They think money, the turnstiles, and all the food that's going to be sold in the Spurs Grand.
Cha-ching.
It's the same. You know, ching-ching. Yeah. The bling and the ching-ching. Yeah. And then they're gonna
all I'm gonna say is, Elly, just read that's so true. That's so true, Elly. Just at the bottom of the screen,
I'm going to do an email to the club anyway. I'm going to do an email to the club about it. Yeah. What did
just
you
got a few
say?
more comments, Elly.
Yeah. Westlife fan.
You know,
brilliant.
Can I just say, could you read the bottom of the screen for me? Just a little.
Yeah. The bottom of the screen.
Just put a little thing
fan
for you, Elly. Yeah. No, on the screen itself. The thing going across the bottom of the screen.
Oh yeah. The Irish women. Yeah. The Irish women are coming. Come on, you, GIG. Right. The Irish women are coming. The Irish women are coming. Come on, you, GIG. And I'll pick up the England team, because obviously I support England. And I'll pick up the Cypriot team. Come on, Cyprus. Of course. And also,
Elly, thank you.
And the Greek team from Greece, because they're Greek as well. I've got to big them up as well, isn't it? Come on.
You do. So, Elly, we're back next Monday with the women's show. with a review of the weekend's games and
yeah,
everything
we'll do
else?
the review of the weekend's game, and I'll have my vlogs that we can put up so people can hear me talking about the game and what my perspective on the game was. And I'll be interviewing a few fans as well.
Oh, that'd be good. And then,
Yeah, it'd be lovely.
so we've got that to look forward to. We're back tonight at 8, and then we're more for Elly in the women's side on the charity stream, which I love doing. And then we'll be back tonight with 8. Does Elly need to run FIFA? That's what I'm going to start a petition for. Elly for FIFA president. There you go.
That's right.
Tag it now. Let's get it around the world.
I'll leave everybody with this picture with me and my dad when I got married. There you go. Isn't that a lovely picture?
I tell you what, Elly, there's no better way to end the show than that. God bless. Elly, do you want to take us out?
God bless. Yeah, well, I just want to sing a song for Ash Neville, actually. Like, I haven't rhymed it. I'll just say, Ash Neville, bull, bull, she's a number 2. Ash Neville, she's a number 2. To the left, to the right, she's a fullback dynamite. She's playing up top, 'cause Rhiannon Skinner wants her to score goals. Come on, Rhiannon Skinner. Well done for doing that. Brilliant. And Ash Neville, you are the greatest. And you deserve the England call-up that you've been waiting for all your life. Come on, England. Player, come on. Cut.